What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Kiss Kiwi, but I guess since it's our first introduction, I'll have a formal introduction. My name is Kevon, born and raised Kansas City, and this is my channel. So really, this video is really just gonna be an introduction to who I am, my life, my journey, and how I got started in Forex trading, day trading in the first place. The path that has led me down since I've discovered Forex, and just kind of a update on where we sit now compared to where we're gonna end up. So I was first introduced to foreign exchange in November of 2018, right? November, December of 2018. So like everybody else, kind of around that time, I had a friend on Snapchat, and he was who I went to school with, classmate, old high school classmate I went to school with, and he's posting these screenshots of him posting like $1, what it looked like, right? $1, and making mad money back from it. So I just reached out to him, like, hey man, I see you've been racking up some money off this, you know what I'm saying? What you got going on? He kind of broke it down to me in kind of layman's terms. He was like, oh, this is foreign exchange market, currency trading, blah 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 blah. And at the time, he was with Our Markets Live. If you know, you know. But when he told me about it, he kind of was like, yeah, you should join the group that I'm in. And just for me, I've always just been a deep research person. At the time, I was still in school. So I was going to school, local school for computer science. I just got a job working IT as as a computer technician at a healthcare facility here in Kansas City. So from that point, I was just interested. I just really broke into my career field at that point in time. So I was interested in what he was doing, what he was going on, because it posed itself as a challenge. Now, it looked like something cool to do. So of course, like everybody else, I hopped on YouTube. Spent a couple hours on YouTube. I found out that you could actually make a demo account. Ended up making a demo account a week or two later. Blew straight through that. Went back to YouTube. Just trying to gain as much knowledge as I can, right? Just Forex for beginners, Forex trading. Just really starting to get my feet wet in what this whole foreign exchange, this whole day trading thing was in the first place. So after that, I played around with that for about a month or so. And then New Year's came. So now it's 2019, about second week of January. I was like, okay, I know I'm not the best at this right now, but I had a couple moments in my little demo trading career where I actually had made a couple dollars. So just making that couple dollars and quick, and you got a demo account, so you're dropping standards and mini lots, right? So you're racking up money pretty quick. You're also losing money quick, but it was that quick gratification of okay, I see that you can actually make money from this vehicle, right? I see this is something you can actually get money from. So from that point on, I think it was the second week of January, I signed up with LQDFX, one of those brokers he had recommended. And I started me a little mini account for $200-$300. And now I traded this account for maybe 3 weeks before I blew through it. Terrible risk management, right? I didn't really know what I was doing at that point in time. Even though it was the first blown account, it definitely wasn't going to be my last. From that point on, I was hooked. Once I put money into it, I was hooked. So then went back to YouTube, really just found YouTube really wasn't giving me all the information I really wanted for real. So I liked reading. I'm an avid reader. So I went and Barnes & Noble. It was my first time ever going to Barnes & Noble, but or second. So I went to Barnes & Noble and I got this Forex for Dummies book, right? That was the first book I ever got on trading, and I was reading through this, and at first I never actually made it through this complete book. The first part was just so much fluff and things like that I really just started to hate it. So then I ended up going over to sites like Baby Pips, and I found a couple YouTube channels that I kind of meshed with pretty well, thought they was pretty cool. So just started my learning journey pretty much on my own because I really didn't want to pay someone. I didn't want to get into the whole group thing yet. Just for the simple fact that I wanted to learn it on my own. I always try to learn things on my own before I try to have somebody else teach me. So I did this for about 6 to 8 months. I think I didn't join my first group till later on, probably around that summer. The first group I joined was Blue Capital Academy, right? I found this guy Ken on IG, joined Blue Cap, met some great people. And so I was with Blue Cap for a couple months. Cool group, cool trading, and that's where I met my future mentor, friend, OG Mike, Money Mike. And I'll get into that. So I'm in this group, and they used to have like daily Zoom classes, right? Like at first they had like video training, so I went through like the video trainings or whatever, and then they used to have these like weekly calls, like each day, like Monday through Friday was like a different call. And I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday was like beginner's day. That was Mike's calls, right? So I used to just hop on these calls, right? It was beginner's trader day, beginner's training. So I just, at first, I was just on the calls, looking at people trade, you know what I'm saying? Looking at Mike break down charts, other people break down charts who was comfortable with getting on the Zoom. And then one day I just finally hopped on. And from that point, it kind of changed for me a little bit. Kind of got over the nerves of like, breaking down the chart and doing things in front of people. So started doing this. Starting in, once I got comfortable, me and Mike just hit it off, right? I was on every call he had, and I just started taking over, really. So whenever he was on the call, I was on there, be one of the first people like, yeah, let me break down the chart. Boom, I'll hop on there. We'll break down charts. Me, him, a couple other traders, right, who was in there. Just breaking down charts, and that's where I kind of started to get more comfortable with charts. Still wasn't really profitable at this point. Like, I've been trading this whole time. Just on and off between like a live account, demo account, because I'll have a live account, a couple $100, blow my live account, trade on demo for like a month or two again or whatever, and then re-put some money. At this point, I was a professional depositor, right? Just depositing money, losing it, depositing money, losing it. But honestly, it's not really losing. It's like playing tuition. Honestly, it's just like when you go to college, going to school, it's like pretty much it felt like the same process, like you paying, and I was gaining something out of each time, I'm blowing these accounts. I felt like I was learning something, gaining just even a tad bit more confidence each time. So did this, end up leaving Blue Cap just because I forgot what happened. I had moved out that March of 2019. So I think at some point in time I had to like pay rent or something. And I was just like, damn, I did some other stuff over the weekend. I was like, I don't got that membership money on me. I think it was like 100, 150 or whatever. And I just didn't want to put it in there. Like, I felt like I wasn't at that point, wasn't really growing a lot past that. Like, I was still learning a lot with Mike. But I just felt like, all right, I feel like I got a good basis of things. Now it's just kind of me perfecting what I've been learning and just improving on my technique. So I ended up lapsing out of there because failed payment, which ended up being funny because I checked it like a year or so later. I happened to re-download Discord and I was still in a group. So I could have been in a group the whole time. Neither here nor there. But did that. Started really kind of gaining confidence towards the end of 2019, right? Just with how everything was going, this is still Donald Trump was in office. We had a lot of things going on with China, the trade wars, things like that. So that was like a fun time of just trading, right? So I'll be at work, right? Be computer technician. I'll be at work. Like my job was pretty relaxing at that point in time before COVID hit. Job was pretty relaxing. So I'll be at work and I'm like watching YouTube trainings. I'm like pulling up charts, like really still grinding on the charts, right? Still putting in that work because I knew this was something that I really wanted to do. I knew this was an adventure that I really wanted to have. So I was just head deep into it, right? I'm going to work. I'm at work doing this. I get off work. I'm hopping on charts. I'm hopping on YouTube. I'm reading books. And not all my books were trading books, but I'm reading trading books. I'm reading self-help books, just gaining mindset, gaining confidence, just gaining overall, better aspect to things in life, right? I feel like that is one thing trading did provide me with. Just kind of gave me something to focus on in life, really just kind of realign me with things. From that point, 2020 came, right? Trading's cool. Trading was going decently, I'm still not profitable. Like I'm making money, but I'm doing things like over leveraging, over risking, not setting my stop losses. So I'm having moments where I'm trading and I might make some money in the morning and I'm probably going to lose it by night, right? Because, make a good trade and you just get overconfident, keep trying to get in more trades, or I'll lose a trade, continue to revenge trade, right? Just try to get the money back from the market. Terrible decision. So end up occurring more losses going that way. And then it just got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm starting to get feel like a good grasp on things, right? Still at the point where I'm like, all right, I'm better than I thought I was, but I still have clearly a long way to go. So 2020 comes and Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I'm from Kansas City, so Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Happy as fuck. I'm gonna put that in there. March comes. Here's where things get crazy. My job gets super hectic. All right. Like I said, I worked in IT. I'm a computer technician. So at this point in time, my job starts laying off a lot of people, right? And sending a lot of people home, work from home. A lot of people are changing positions, things like that. So my casual leisure job of really, I'm able to just kind of chill out, have fun with work, right? Do my trading. I worked in IT office. IT was really cool. We had a really good group of people. And now my job is stressful as hell every single day. Every day is nonstop, right? Now it was pretty much all of 2020 till September, November, right? It was just nonstop go, setting up constantly 50 felt like computers a day, right? Just setting different computers up, moving different people. We had floods that happened. A whole lot of stuff happened in 2020 that really just made my job fucking miserable, honestly. So I really knew okay, I really want to go and break out into trading. I'm still not profitable at this point, but I know I still have the confidence. All right, I know if I really buckle down, if I really get on my shit, I'll really be able to do it. So that's what I did. At the time, I was just battling my own little mental battles with trading, with just life at that point, right? A whole lot of life things going on. So battling mental battles with trading, which definitely reflected in my trading, because even though I was confident in trading, I was unconfident in myself a lot of times. So a lot of times I would reflect in my trade and I would just get in trades I knew literally I would be getting in trade and I was I shouldn't be getting in this trade. And I would still do it, right? So occurring more losses, which kind of started to deteriorate my confidence in my ability to trade, but I still knew I could trade. Come around August, September-ish, I believe, of 2020, I had my little cousin and one of my big cousins actually ended up joining IML. And since they had seen me trading, I was still posting screenshots whenever I was profitable, still posting screenshots on Snapchat, things like that. So they're saying I'm making money. So they hit me up one day hey, I'm getting into this trading thing. You know what I'm saying? You trying to link up, talk about some things. So I was oh yeah, bet. Right? Told them pull up to the crib. So they pull up. We talked for 2 hours, right? We just going over support, resistance, candlesticks, right? We just going over the whole 9 Fibonacci's. I had this special Fibonacci that I got from BCA, Blue Capital Academy. So just teach them how to use that and things like that. And really that kind of changed things, because as I'm teaching them, they was bro, you know a lot. You should really start, teaching your own little classes, doing your own little thing, your own little course. Because a lot of this stuff, you teaching us, we're not even learning, and we paying 150, whatever, 100, whatever the little charge was to be an IML, and we not even learning this stuff. So it kind of boosted my head a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. So I was all right. So I took that into consideration. Then we just started hopping on little Zoom calls every other day, every day. We had a little group chat. We always texting about charts, all right, boom, what you looking at today? I'm looking at this, do this, right? And then we started adding people to these Zoom calls and kind of making it a thing to host, right? So I ended up starting to host these like little Zoom calls in like October, November, around that time. Like this is October, November 2020. So I'm hosting like these Zoom calls, right? And it's not like I'm getting a whole lot of people. Like maybe like max. I think the max one had like 15 people on it. But it was really cool to have that engagement with people, right? Just being able to teach and instruct people and having positive feedback. Like, you know, they were kind of solidifying my confidence in that I knew what I was doing, even though I wasn't the most profitable. Like I could be profitable, but also had a lot of bad tendencies that I kind of had ingrained from my first like year of trading, and that first like 8-9 months when I wasn't in any type of academy, and just over leveraging. Even once I joined the academy, a lot of those habits were still ingrained. So I was still like over leveraging, terrible risk management. I wasn't really trading with a clear trading plan, things like that. So I ended up slowly, like it slowly started to die down. Just for whatever reason, right? People just kind of like slowly started to pull back from Forex, slowly started to pull back from hopping on these classes and everything, because most of the people who were on these classes, of course, were IML people who were like in the groups that they were in. So kind of started to pull back, which I was like, all right, cool. But it kind of built a lot of confidence in me to go ahead and do my own thing with trading. So I set out, started my own little academy, first academy, LSPD Academy, which really stood for light speed, because the whole premise of it was I wanted people to travel at light speed, right, to their goals, their dreams with trading. And so I set out for that, told my managers like, hey, I'm not going to work a job anymore after 23. I was 22 at the time. 22 at the time. I was like, all right, my birthday's in March. Around this time, it's like December, I had just started putting in my paperwork, filing my LLC, right? So it's like official. Like I'm like, all right, I got a business. Like I'm gonna really try to push this, really try to do this, really try to get this off the ground. Even though once again, it wasn't really all that profitable. But like I was making money, but I wasn't making money. You know what I mean? Like I'll make money, but I'm allowing the markets to take that money back. So end of 2020 really comes. It's 2019. It's like January. I put in like my 2 months notice. Like most people put in 2 weeks. I worked in IT, so our department was like really small, honestly. And I just didn't want to leave my guys hanging, or girl, you know, shout out to Tanya. So I didn't want to leave, you know, my people hanging. So I put in like a little 2 month notice, for like March 28th. It was like the day before my birthday. Like I'm done working the day before my birthday or whatever. Then February comes. I actually got fired. So I actually got fired like the end of January. Which was funny because like honestly I understood because I really wasn't doing a whole lot of work. Like I was really like mentally checked out. Like 2020 had beat my ass working at that job because we were a small department, and a lot of the people who we had in our department we sent home for like to, you know, have a safe environment, you know, not have as many people as we had in there, especially since, you know, we're going out. And I worked at a healthcare clinic, so, you know, we're going out, and a lot of people, of course, were sick. So we limited the people in our office, which is one of the reasons my job was so hard, because I'm like one of like 4 people actually in the office. So a lot of the things that had to do with in office, I had to do. So that ended up being a lot of work, which really just burnt me out from IT in general. So I was really just ready for a new chapter, a new change, a new challenge. And I knew it wasn't really going to be the easiest challenge for the simple fact that I knew I wasn't really all that profitable. I knew I had the capability of making money. I knew I had the capability of teaching. But I knew I also had a long way to go before I could really consider myself like a day trader or a full-time trader. But I did have a crutch. My dad owns a landscaping company. So I was like, push comes to shove, like worst thing, I could work with my dad in the summers, and still, you know, still be making money, and then just trade half-time or part-time while I'm doing that. And that's essentially kind of what I did. We're going to get to that part. So put in my 2 weeks. I get fired in like the end of February. Literally the week after I get fired, my car breaks down. And one day at first it started off like a little issue with the wheel. I had drove it to my cousin's house because I was bored because I didn't have a job anymore. So I'm just at home. So I'm like, all right, I'm not trying to be at home. Like, you know, I kind of got bored after like a week. Like I was leaving my apartment in March, but you know, I still literally had about a month until I was supposed to move out of my apartment. So I was like, all right, trying to go to my cousin's house. Drove my car to my cousin's house, and after, like, it just never came back to life. Like, I left my cousin's house at like 1, drove to my dad's house, because it was like the tire was making, like, remember I said I had a tire issue. It was making like this terrible noise. So I went to my dad's house. Car never turned back on. So end up putting, a lot of my capital money that I was going to be trading with kind of towards that time, towards trying to fix my car, which never came back to life. So now it's 2021. It's March. I leave my apartment. I move with my dad. It's kind of where I'm at right now, actually. In my room at my dad's house. Moving with my dad. And I'm just like, all right, I'm going to buckle down for like maybe a year, right? I'm like, all right, max a year. All right, buckle down, work a little bit over summer, get some more capital, get back on my shit. So I reach out to Mike again, because I told you, Mike, mentor friend. Reach out to Mike again. I seen he was with this new group, Bank Zone. Shout out to them boys, Mace, Slick. And it was pretty much all the mentors and teachers who was at Blue Capital Academy. They just made their own shit now. So I don't know what happened in that little beads all, but they made their own thing. So end up joining them the summer of 2021, like April, May, or somewhere around there. And man, I was just really head in this group. I was working with my dad also from like April to like June, but honestly, like just the job, like it was just such a different transition from going to doing IT, doing computers, like casual leisure job. Even when my when my job was hard at IT, like it wasn't out in the sun, like, you know what I'm saying, too much manual labor, maybe picking up a couple computers, moving some shit, but it wasn't like, the worst thing in the world. So end up working with Pops for a couple months, and then honestly I just stopped. I was like, yeah, man, I can't really even do this. Like, I wasn't happy. Like, it wasn't something I wanted to do. So I just really wasn't happy with the whole working anymore, like doing that. So I went back trading. I'm in like full head on in this new group, right? And they had this little section where you could drop your trade ideas. So dude, I'm dropping trade ideas every day, right? And my trade ideas are hidden. But what used to be crazy is like, it was like the trade ideas, I will mark up just like hella charts. And it was of course, the trade ideas I didn't take that would hit, in the trade ideas that I did that were mine, I missed on, right? Like, it was a bad trade. I got in either too early, too late, or sometimes, it was just a losing trade, which is cool. But I'm getting on the Zoom calls, like BCA, they had a lot of Zoom calls. So I'm getting on the Zoom calls in this group, right? Just talking with the other traders, right? Just really head in this full group, right? But just wasn't really gaining that momentum, that traction that I really wanted. Still at that point, like I'm still, not really profitable. But I'm still getting reassurance from now instead of reassurance from like people who can't really trade. I'm getting reassurance from like actual 6-figure traders, you know what I'm saying, who do this, who have an academy, who trade, and they're like, bro, you know what you're talking about. Like, same thing. Me and Mike are back on the same thing. Like, he's still having this beginner call, so I'm getting on the beginner calls, and I'm taking over, right? It's literally like me and Mike, like you pretty much had to kick me off the call. Like, I'm just hopping on charts, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, all right, I'll mark up like my typical charts, whatever pairs that I typically like to trade. I'm marking those up, and then I'm just like, hey, whoever in here, what you want to see marked up? And I'm like, they say something, all right, type it in. I go to get to marking it up, right? So I'm doing this, and like, it's just really kind of building my confidence. Like, all right, when it comes to chart work, I know I got that in the bag. Like, it was kind of just, now it's like, okay, now that I know how to read charts, right? I really got way better at understanding naked, price action, candlesticks, chart patterns, market structure, market movement, market sentiment, applying fundamental news with everything, right? So I was getting a way better understanding of this thing, but I, of course, still had a long way to go till I really wanted to be where I at, and still do. But I'm doing this and ended up running out of capital, right? Because you got to remember, at this point in time, it's like, all right, like July, August. I stopped working with my dad in like June. So all the money I had in our trading account, I done blew that by now. So now it's like, all right, we back to square one. Like, accounts at zero. I'm not working. I don't have a car because, remember, my car broke down literally to start the year. So I'm just like, all right, cool. We're here, right? This situation. Um, Ended up doing like little things throughout, like, you know what I'm saying, the winter to just keep things afloat, keep things kind of jerking just a little bit. Um, Tried to do a funded account. Past phase one of, like, I forgot what the company was, but did this funding account. Past phase one. I'm in phase two. While I'm in phase two, about to pass phase two, the company decides they're no longer going to do funded accounts. So that was a big bummer. Get a refund. Then I head over to FTMO. Past the phase one. I'm in phase two, and I failed. Like, I forgot what happened. I think I like over leveraged on one trade, or I like just with the way the rules were set up, I think I did something wrong. So I failed the challenge. So now it's like, all right, I'm back at square one again. No capital for trading, no job, no car. We're all here again, right? And it wasn't really like the worst thing ever, because like I live with my dad, so you know I still had transportation. I need to go somewhere. I'm like, hey, can I use the car or whatever? Woo woo. Doing that. So just back in my bag when it comes to educating myself, right? So buying more books, books like Naked Forex, Trading in the Zone, Chart Patterns, the Japanese Candlestick Patterns book, just anything that I can really get my hands on to really try to improve my trading. And they helped a lot, right, with a lot of different things, but still wasn't really clicking on all cylinders yet. So that kind of proceeded through the rest of 2021. 2022 comes. I'm like, all right, I need to gain capital. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of like being broke as fuck at this point. So I'm like, all right, I need to gain capital. I'm going to just, boom, head on with the business with Pops. So just took a bigger role and just like, really was just like, fuck it. I'm going to do this till, you know what I'm saying, I can get to the position I want to. Then I'm going to do my own thing. So that summer, right, March, April, working with Pops whole summer from like March till about August, September. When it was, yeah, about September. So from about June to September, I wasn't really trading. And like the money that I was getting, like I'll put a little money in my trading account. I was still blowing accounts. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm still blowing accounts. Now it's taking me a lot longer to blow accounts. And like how I'm blowing accounts is not really blowing accounts, because I'm putting money in the account, but then I'll need to like, all right, pay my phone bill, or I want to go do something, so I'll withdraw money from my account. So now it's like a double-edged sword, because I'm withdrawing, I'm making some profits, but I'm also losing. So it's kind of like I'm getting hit on these accounts from like several different angles, which was funny now that I look back at it. And so I'm just like, all right, cool, that's not working. So, but I also did a lot of traveling in, what was that, 2022, right? So I went to Invest Fest in August. I did a lot of hanging out, went to a lot of different places, right? Just, I felt like I missed out on a lot of life living in 2021. So 2022, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I really just wasn't all that worried about trading over the summer when I was, you know what I'm saying, collecting money. I was just having fun, bro. Like, just going, hanging out, doing things, taking trips. Went bungee jumping in Kentucky, like with my dad. That was awesome. Just different things like that. So from that point, 2022 starts to come to an end. I didn't really set myself up in a position to be able to trade, because like I said, I wasn't saving none of the money that I was making all over the summer. I was just spending money. I was just going to do shit, and the money that I would put in the account, I end up taking out or taking losses, and then just, it'll slowly, you know what I'm saying, kill the account. So then we get to 2023. Now, it's March. So it's about that time to be doing trading again. But I decided, like, things have been kind of clicking on a totally different level, right? Just totally different level of confidence, totally different level of understanding. Like, it's still crazy, like, just to see, like, every time I think I know stuff, like, nope, it's like, all right, I learned a little bit more. I learned a little bit more of my capabilities, skills. A lot of talks with Mike. Just improving different things, you know what I'm saying, making different trading strategies, things like that. Demo trading accounts. So I'm demo trading, you know, on and off throughout this time. So I know I'm still, you know what I'm saying, keeping my skills sharp. I'm still always getting on charts, marking up charts. Still talking to my dad. My dad does a lot of stock options. So me and him are still always talking. So, you know, it keeps my brain just focused on, you know what I'm saying, the general market. Like, my brain never left. being a trader. I started posting videos, started posting trainings, made a Discord for, LSPD Academy, and just really trying to get that jerking. And I mean, I had like slight success, but like kind of the buzz died down, partly due to my fault, just like not being fully consistent in the group. And so that kind of died down. So took that for what it was, nobody's fault but mine. Now it's 2023. I've decided that, like, this year is going to be my year. Like, I'm not going to allow the little simple mistakes that I've done over previous years to continue to hinder me from doing something that I really want to do. So the name has changed. It's no longer LSPD Academy. The name is not 100% official. But when it is, I should be getting my paperwork back from the state like any time now. Like, I put in like the name change in like December, and it's March. I still haven't. I don't know. Like, I just had a lot of troubles with getting the name changed. So this is really just to document my journey, to show people like, hey, like, you can start from zero and really build it up. It's really kind of like my own little personal diary of me, my journey, and also to help serve others. Like, I know there's still a lot of information that I know that a lot of people don't know. I know there's still a lot of information I still need to know, and just putting myself in a position to both learn information and to also help younger, maybe not so experienced traders, not make the same mistakes, or even, be profitable in this market. Because the funniest part is I've actually made profitable traders. Like, there's been several people who've come to me, and like, I don't teach them the dumb shit that I, start doing. I teach them, don't risk more than 2% per trade. Don't risk more than 10% a week. Build a trading plan. Really get the full understanding of candlestick patterns, chart patterns, market sentiment, understanding your technicals, your fundamentals, how to put them together. So I know I have the capabilities of doing what I teach other people how to do. So now it's just like me really getting out of my head. I feel like majority of the time I've just really been in my own way when it comes to trading, and that's okay. Like, this is something new. Like, the market is forever changing. There's always something different. Like, so you just have to really get yourself adjusted to this environment, right? I believe trading is really a thing that how you feel about certain things, how the aspect of, the way you direct your thoughts really reflects in your trading, right? So when you say, you question yourself as a trader, you make a lot of questionable trades, which end up hurting you a lot. So really had to, I did a lot of reading, did a lot of meditation, studying on myself, really a lot of self-evaluation, demo accounts, again, just rebuilding my confidence in myself, adjusting trading plans. So now is the start of a new journey. It's 2023. I'm not gonna make the same mistakes this year. Literally everything's going to trading. Like, we're full in. Like, I am gonna be working with the business. So y'all gonna see how to work, 9 to 5, doing this landscaping with my dad, all summer, growing this company, as well as, trading, making YouTube, making content, doing that for, you guys, myself. And it's going to just be kind of, like I said, like a visual diary for myself, right? Something to kind of look back on and just be able to really measure my growth and see how I grow as a person, a trader, and hopefully a mentor, an educator to everybody watching these videos. So honestly, that's my story, right? As it stands right now, my trading account is at 0. Trading accounts is 0. Still living with my dad, right? I'm not backstroking in funds. Like, I got a couple stock accounts with like a couple hundred, but other than that, like, man, like, what I'm saying, just really getting by. So this is gonna be my journey. I appreciate everybody coming along, everybody watching this video. If you stayed to this time, appreciate everybody listening to my story. And let's grow together. I really put this together to educate, inspire, and empower everyone else. So I hope I can bring everybody, well, it's not even that I hope. I know I'm going to bring everybody a lot of value, a lot of insight, a lot of education. And thank you for coming on this journey. Peace.